If you think that the last few years have been challenging for the automotive industry, you can be sure that the worst days are yet to come. The new administration has announced new 25% tariffs on products from Mexico and Canada, and since many popular models on the US market are assembled in these two countries, particularly Mexico, it's pretty clear that the new wave of price increases is just around the corner. For now, Trump has paused the new tariffs, but sooner or later they will take effect. So stay with us as we reveal 5 pickup trucks that smart buyers are rushing to buy before the tariffs hit and the massive price hike occurs. Number 5. Toyota Tacoma. Once the new tariffs come into effect, there's no doubt that the Toyota Tacoma won't be starting at around $31,500 anymore, because the most popular midsize truck on the market is also one of the least American-made trucks, especially now when all models of the new generation are assembled in Toyota's factories in Mexico, the Baja California, and the Guanajuato. With the new tariffs on the way, it's clear that a pickup like this assembled in Mexico is going to bring a noticeable price increase, though it's still hard to say how big the increase is going to be. The mitigating circumstance is that Tacoma engines and transmissions are still produced in West Virginia and other Toyota plants in the US, which will certainly bring a bit of an offset. In the meantime, Tacoma sales are boosting up, with many buyers rushing to get one before the prices go further up. The Tacoma, as mentioned, is the best-selling midsize pickup truck on the market for a reason. It blends ruggedness, off-road performance, comfort, and technology in such a nice way, making it one of the most advanced models in the class. Another reason for the Tacoma's popularity and status on the market is the variety of configurations, which include different cab styles, bed lengths, and powertrain options, including a hybrid version. In addition to Toyota's reputation for reliability and longevity, it's clear why many see this as a perfect moment to get one before it's too late. Number 4. Ford F-150. This may come as a surprise for many, but the F-150 is also going to be heavily affected by new tariffs, because even though the Blue Oval Company likes to point out that all F-150s are assembled in the United States, which is not the case with rivals, the truth is this is one of the least American pickup trucks on the market, as most of up-to-date data suggests that only 32% of the parts are American-made. So the fact that the truck is assembled in plants like Dearborn and Kansas City, and that engines are produced in Cleveland and also Dearborn, won't mean much, because the vast majority of parts are sourced from other parts of the world, with a solid portion coming from Mexico. With all that in mind, many are in a rush because they're pretty sure that soon enough its starting price won't be slightly over $37,000, but much higher. But even with this inevitable price increase, we don't believe that the F-150 sales could go significantly down. It'll remain the best seller because it's simply the best truck on the market, with class-leading towing capacity, well-rounded design, and an impressive range of configurations. Nevertheless, this is the right moment to get one, while it's still reasonably priced and represents an excellent value for money proposal. Number 3. Ram HD. Ram's heavy-duty trucks are expected to be some of the most vulnerable on the market once the new tariffs come to effect, because it's one of the least American-made trucks around, some of its variants in particular. A lot of things depend on the configurations you pick, but in general, the problem is that the entire HD lineup is assembled in Mexico, in the famous Saltillo truck assembly plant that has been operational for a full 3 decades. Not only that, this is one of the rare American trucks that's not only assembled in Mexico, even the engines are built there, at least the gas-powered model, equipped with a good old 6.4-liter Hemi that's produced in the Saltillo engine plant in Ramos Arizpe. The price increase is expected to be less significant in the case of the diesel version, because the diesel engine comes from Cummins, a company that still manufactures its engines in its facility located in Columbus, Indiana. Another mitigating circumstance is the fact that the transmission, ZF Source, is also produced in the United States, so it won't contribute to the price increase. Overall, it's still hard to tell how big this increase is going to be, but now it's definitely the right time to get one of these, because Ram HD models stand out in so many ways, starting from excellent towing and payload capacity, class-leading ride quality, upscale interior, and impressive level of refinement. It's one of the best heavy-duty pickup trucks around, and this might be the right moment to get one. Number 2. Chevrolet Silverado 1500. According to Car.com American-Made Index, the Chevy Silverado 1500 is the least American-made pickup on the market, with only 37% of parts coming from the United States and Canada. At the same time, 37% of their parts come directly from Mexico, while the remaining 26% of the parts are undisclosed. Therefore, a massive price increase once the tariffs come into effect is pretty much a certain scenario. How big the increase is going to be will largely depend on the configuration you pick, and what's particularly interesting is that the cheapest versions, those with regular cab styles, could bring a bigger increase than the other cab styles, because these were made in Mexico in the Silverado plant, while the crew cab model comes directly from Fort Wayne, Indiana. As for the double cab model, it's produced in both plants, so we may presume Chevy will try to figure things out and move most of the production to America. Things with the powertrain are particularly interesting because while the V8s are mostly produced in the US, the rest of the powertrain lineup comes from various plants, including one from Mexico, one from New York, and one from Michigan. The same thing is with the transmission, because although there's a massive transmission plant in Toledo, GM also has a plant in Silao that supplies transmissions for Silverados assembled in Mexico. All in all, Chevrolet seems to have a bit more maneuvering space than some other truck manufacturers because this diversified manufacturing approach is going to be of great help in keeping tariffs and price increases under control. But don't think that the Silverado could remain as affordable as it is today. Prices will have to go down, but once again, a lot of things will depend on the configuration. Still, we presume that Chevy will try to remain on the more affordable side of the spectrum, offering its products for less money than rivals. Does this mean that it offers less than the competition? No, not at all. Silverados are well known for their mix of ruggedness, modern tech, and a pretty straightforward approach that makes it a top choice among customers who prefer a bit more of an old school, no-nonsense design. Number 1. Ford Maverick. The Ford Maverick reinvented the compact pickup truck market with its unique design that blends comfort, practicality, and versatility with very affordable prices. The moment it was released, it became an amazing seller, so good that even today Ford can't make enough of these trucks to meet the demand. But with such popularity, price increases also came, so the pickup is already noticeably more expensive than it was a couple of years ago, and unfortunately, these new tariffs will bring another increase. That's because the Maverick is once again among the least American pickups on the US market, considering that the most recent data shows that only 26% of its parts are US and Canada sourced. The rest comes from various parts of the world, including Mexico and Europe. The Maverick, just like its close siblings, the Bronco Sport and Escape, are assembled at the Hermosillo plant in Mexico. But things are much more complex than that because, once again, these parts are coming from various parts of the world. Of course, the engine and transmission are the most important ones in terms of new tariffs and expected price increases. Those interested in the hybrid version should be prepared to suffer more because the whole hybrid system is assembled in the Chihuahua engine plant in Mexico. On the other hand, the 2-liter Turbo 4 is produced in various locations, mostly in the US, specifically the Cleveland, Ohio plant. With components sourced from different locations, it's still hard to come up with a more precise estimation regarding price increases, but one thing is for sure, it will get more expensive. For that reason, buyers are eager to get their example while it's still priced reasonably. As for the future, a lot of things will depend on what rival companies will be capable of. Several companies, including Ram and Toyota, already announced their models for the compact pickup segment, but their success on the market will largely depend on their ability to form competitive prices, which will become even more challenging with the new tariffs. For now, the Maverick's position is safe, and if the Blue Oval manages to keep this price increase under control, we're pretty sure that its sales figures would not be compromised in the future. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.